Hey everybody, good Sunday morning, good Sunday morning. This is Jamal. This is Sunday Tat Talk with Jamal. Since my daughters is wearing red and white, I had to get a tie that's kind of close to it. So yeah, it has some green in it, but oh well. I'm still replacing the stuff that was lost in the fire. I used to have a Blue Lives Matter, um, Red Lives Matter, which stand for firemen. I lost that tie. I lost my Blue Lives Matter tie. So I'm still trying to get these things back. Cause somebody asked me, Jamal, what happened to your red and gray tie? Cause it was the American flag, but it had a red line down the middle. It was black and white with a red line. So I lost that. So I got to get that back too. So I'm replacing my stuff I lost in the fire, getting back to where it needs to be. That's why I nicked myself this morning. But let's get down to it. I'm going to do a half Windsor because this is my blade. Okay. Now, it's real thin right here and it's not kind of eye catching. So I'm going to do a half Windsor. Not a full Windsor. I'm going to do a half Windsor. But let's talk real quick. They found a girl, Carly Lee Russell. They found her. Carly Russell. They found her, they had her being, trying to help a toddler on the street, and somebody hurried up and ran and got her. They used children as lures to help rob people. This is coming from the black community now. She won't rob by no MAGA. She won't kidnap and rob by somebody wearing a MAGA hat. She won't kidnap and rob by someone who got Trump stickers all over their truck. She was robbed and kidnapped by one of them kings. One of them kings and queens from Africa. I'm a descendant of kings and queens. That's who did that. But let's go on and get started, because I got to talk about something and discuss something real quick in this 5-minute video, because I got to be quick. Conservatives, when you say we need to move on in the past, you are really telling everybody who got screwed over and feel strong about what happened in 2020. You're really telling us screw you. That's what you're really saying. That's what you're saying. How can you, as a Republican candidate, stand up there and tell the people who did everything they could because they liked the economy, they liked the way things were going, oh, y'all just need to move on from the past. That's just the past. It's over with. Y'all just need to move on. Hold it. Do you realize what happened in 2020? Do you realize what happened in the courts and all that stuff and how we was done? Do you realize that? Is that not something that you consider? How can you tell us to move on? We invested. Some of us lost businesses. People like me. You tell me just move on. People was banned and thrown off the internet for telling the truth about the... I had a small hiccup with my Bluetooth. But people was banned for telling the truth about the Fauci ouchie. And also telling the truth about the China flu. So people just can't move on. To tell people just move on. Those of us who supported President Trump still support him. We saw the courts refuse to even hear the trial. See, everybody say courts rejected. They didn't even hear the arguments. Briefs were filed and the courts just threw it out. They didn't have their day in court to have a chance to argue their point. How would you feel? All you so-called liberals, you always talk about fair justice system. You go want your trial and it's just thrown out. Or worse yet, how many times have liberals got mad because the grand jury refused to indict a police officer? He should still be seen in front of the courts. And you know what? Same thing we said, that's a judiciary system. That's a judiciary system. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. But don't tell us to move on. Like what happened meant nothing. So basically, you're telling us when stuff happens to conservatives and Republicans, we should just move on. Well, that's the same old rhino Bush Republicans that we rejected mentality. This is what we reject. That same old Bush mentality. Just move on. Just move on. No, we don't need to move on. We need to stand and fight and take care of that situation so it won't keep happening again. So when I look through the 2024 presidential campaign, if I hear anybody say we need to move on from the past, that person, I can't vote for them, period. Well, of course I'm supporting President Trump, but if President Trump just happens not to win the nomination, I can't support that person in a presidential election because they're going to be another return to the Bush Republicans. The ones that do nothing, about nothing, and get nothing done. I don't want to return back to that. I don't want to return back to that again, ever again. Now, as Republicans, we demand stuff get done that we want done. I'm not worried about the Democrat base. I'm not worried about Democrat voters. I'm worried about Republicans and Republican voters and things Republicans want. Talk to you later. This is Sunday Tie Talk with Jamal. Sorry about the hiccup, but I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.